Our topic this morning deals with the subject of God asking each one of us, what do we want? My little son, who looked in thoughtful eyes and moved and spoke in quiet grown-up wise, having my law the seventh time disobeyed, I struck him and dismissed with hard words and unkissed his mother, who was more patient than I, being dead. Then, fearing lest his grief should hinder sleep, I visited his bed, but found him slumbering deep, with darkened eyelids and their lashes yet from his late sobbing wet. And I with moan kissed away his tears, left others of my own. From a table drawn up beside his head, he had put within his reach a box of marble and a red veined stone, a piece of glass abraded by the beach, and 6 or 7 shells, and a bottle with bluebells, and 2 French copper coins arranged there with careful art to comfort his sad heart. Now, what had this lad really done? Perhaps 6, 7 years of age? He had just lost his mother through death. Perhaps the father had the only child. But in any event, the lad was lonely. Perhaps it was a rainy day, and he kept persisting that his father should give him some attention. And finally the father lashed out and hit him across the mouth and sent him to bed without any supper. That's all he had wanted, of course, just attention, just some reassurance, just some love. But as parents, we don't always do things right, do we? We sometimes lash out in anger. Well, today we ask simple questions of parents. What do you want from your children, from your family? And to children, what do you want from your parents? What do we really want from the family? We must ask, of course, members of the congregation, what do you expect from one another, from the new pastor who will be here soon? What do you really expect? What do we expect of ourselves? What do we really want? Telephone rings and we oftentimes say, I wonder who in the world that can be. I wonder what they want from me now. Letter comes from the church, with the church takes care of it, we say, uh-oh, they want something. What in the world do they want from me now? A child comes in the room, and again we may say, I wonder what in the world that kid wants. I'm right in the middle of watching a football game or a soap opera or something. What do people want from me? What do we want from life? That's the most important thing, isn't it? Is it that we believe that we must have health, number one? Robert Louis Stevenson, that great Christian, dying for many years. You hear him say, for example, that I refuse to permit the medicine shelf to become the horizon of my soul. A lady I knew once upon a time so doubled up with arthritis, when you talked to her, you had to get down and look up because she was so crippled up. Yet she occupied a pew Sunday by Sunday and set an example to the Christian. So you and I want health. Is that the most important thing? For many of us, of course, it is. What about freedom? Unrestricted, uncoerced. We have our desires and our plans to come and go as we please. Well, we hear about this great man, for example, who wrote Pilgrim's Progress, John Bunyan. We hear him say this: I'm determined, God's helping me yet to suffer if this frail life may continue so long, till the moss grows over my eyebrows, rather than violate my faith with a consistent butchery of my conscience and of the gospel. He could have gotten off, you see, if only he had recanted and turned against his Lord, his faith, but he said, freedom is secondary to me. Stevenson said, health is secondary to me. Most important is my living out the life that Jesus Christ has for me. Is it status that you and I want? Is it titles? Is it degrees? Is it popularity? Is it money? The big laptop that needs to be moved every year because the other one shrunk too much because of all the extra CDs we have in it? What is it that we really want out of life? And when you and I really begin to ponder this, we find oftentimes we come up with some answers that really are pretty superficial. Many of you have heard of Sid Simon. This man is making millions of dollars a year. Why? Because he helps people clarify what they believe in. Value clarification. He just was here this weekend, in fact, or last weekend in Clearwater. I picked up a few $1,000s. Most people have no goals in life. They tell me that 60% of all Americans have no particular goals. They look forward to a Super Bowl contest, and thank God it's Friday, and vacation in 2 weeks. That's about the only goals they have in a given lifetime. This is young and old. But God asks us, what do you really want out of life? What is it that really is most important? Remember the day when James and John and the mother of them walked up to Christ and pushed aside the crowd and they said, Lord, we want you to give us anything that we ask for. Just like that. Just like that. Lord, give us anything that we demand. Now, Christ could have gotten angry and shown them aside and had somebody usher them out. Like Peter, for example, the strong-armed individual. But Christ may looked him in the eye and said, what do you really want? And that's the question that's in your eyes and mine. What is so important in your life? What do you really want? We must ask ourselves this question in the midst of soul searching. What do we desire more than anything else in all of life?